Welcome to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, the show with a no BS approach to money, hosted by a farm strategy expert and authorized IBC practitioner. Join us as we get real and expose the flaws of traditional financial institutions in order to help farmers take control of their finances, create peace of mind, grow their wealth, and leave a legacy. Now, here's your host, Mary Jo Irmen.
Hello and welcome back to today's podcast. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, as always, if you have not left a review, please do so before you hear today's episode, because I might tick you off today. I'm going to be real today. I'm going to be real. So if you like real, you're going to love this. If you like stuff sugar-coated, you are not going to love this podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about if you can't make it, if somebody you know can't make it, or you're financially struggling, is it you or is it them? I had a meeting with a potential client, with a reader of the book, who was reading the book to help a family member. Okay, the family member farms and is not doing well and physically was told that they can no longer farm. And so the family member says, this is all I know how to do. I can't do anything else. So ironically, what happens is somebody swoops in to help this family member who says, well, I just can't do anything else. So the other family member is financially running cows with them, not taking their share of the money, leaving it for the siblings so that they have the money to live. I mean, that's great. If somebody is showing responsibility to take control, right? Showing responsibility to make changes, to learn something else. I don't much care if you're 65 years old. And if you tell me you can't learn something else, I may just lose my ever-loving mind. You can always learn something else. That is a choice that you get to make. There are lots of things that I don't want to learn because, frankly, I just don't care about them. But I have to learn about them. For instance, 401ks and IRAs, I don't care about them. I will never put money in one. I 100% do not believe in them, yet I have clients that do, and so therefore I have to learn about them. If there is something you cannot do, if you are a farmer and do not have computer skills, turn on a computer and start learning. Ask somebody to help you get the basics until they can get you to YouTube, and then you just watch videos. You have this little handheld computer device in your hand, and you figured out how to use that. Don't tell me if you physically cannot farm or ranch that you can no longer do it, and so somebody else has to come in and bail you out. It's not help you out. Because if they were helping, they would be lending you the money. And this may be just one conversation that I had recently, but it's not the only conversations that I have. I see these conversations a lot, or I have these conversations a lot. If any of you follow Jolene Brown, and she was a guest on my podcast a while back, you will understand that Jolene has these conversations nearly daily, if not multiple times a day, I would say, because she is mostly dealing with farmers' conflict. And I love this. I absolutely love this. Jolene, I saw her at a seminar she was doing. And Jolene said, if nobody else is going to hire your family member to work for them and they can't keep a job off the farm, why do you think you should hire them? If they're not employable by somebody else, why should you be hiring them? Oh, it was so good. It was just one of those aha moments for me because so many times Because they're a family member, we want to help people out because things are going rough. What other ways can this be done? In this particular circumstance, we have some farm ground and we have some cattle. So the one sibling buys the cattle, and then when it comes time to sell, lets the other sibling keep all the money because they want to help each other out. Well, that's not helping. That is enabling. However, if we owe debt and we have all this debt and we don't have any money for living expenses because everything we have goes to debt, do we sell all the cattle to pay off the debt and then do some custom grazing? Never thought of that. Do we lend the other sibling money? Never thought of that. We have to step back. And I just learned one of my amazing clients has a new podcast. And let me just plug her for a moment because it's very cool. And I had not heard of it before, but it is called Type It Out with T and Cass. Type is TYPE. Because they talk about the Enneagram personality types, which I find personality type things and how we get work done. And I find all those things very fascinating. So I started listening to her podcast, and they are just new into the podcast, but I got some Enneagram information from other places. And I am an 8. I don't need to take a test to see what personality I am. I am an 8. An 8 doesn't have feelers. Nope, no feelers for me. My kids said that from the time that they were little. You don't have any feelers. No, I don't. I'm very rational. It's how God made me. It's not that I don't want to have feelers. It's just how God made me. So if you're going to ask me for help, feelings are not going to come into that equation. And some people out there, if you are enabling people, it's because you're letting feelings come into that equation. Are we actually making somebody better? If we are financially helping somebody, are we looking at their numbers? Are we looking at how that they're spending their money? I am doing a little bit of business coaching with a local contractor here. And I said to him, I will help you, but you have to do everything that I say or I'm out. He's like, okay. So I've been watching what he's doing. I am busting him to pieces. I'm like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why are you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? I like him. He's absolutely wonderful. He's a great person. He just needs a kick in the pants. Feelings do not come into play because monetarily we have an issue. If we want to make money, you better know your numbers. You better quit goofing off. You better get to work. You better learn some new skills. You better do some crap you don't want to do. And I don't care what type of business you have. I don't care if you are farming or if you have a construction business or if you have a retail business. I really frankly don't care. If we're going to help other people out, those other people better be putting in the effort. It absolutely drives me crazy. The person we're trying to help's not even in the meeting. Why? Oh, because I'm doing the research for them. Before I take this to them, I just wanted to see if it would work. Include them in from the beginning. If they don't show any effort that they want to learn, you're going to hold your hand through them the whole time. Why do I make you guys read the book? Not because I think you need to learn how to read better. Not because I think my book is fantastic. Not because I want to sell books. Because I want to see that you have the effort to learn what I'm teaching before we even meet. You then have the basics and we can get rolling. If you want me to teach you everything, that's saying I want you to hold my hand along the way. This is not me holding your hand. This is you figuring it out yourself, because the problem is the bank has held our hand forever and we still can't figure it out. And then we're the victim of the bank. When in fact, it is sort of the bank's fault because they never made you be responsible to begin with. I don't care if you are farming with somebody else or in business with somebody else. And if you guys are floating each other, We have a problem, Houston. Where is the problem? I am not in business with somebody to let them take my share of the profit. Yes, there are times when things get tough, and there are times when we can help people out and they will pay us back. Absolutely. I am not saying do not help people out. But when it becomes a continuous habit and the other person does not show the initiative to want to get out of that situation on their own, we aren't helping anybody. You cannot expect to get anywhere if you don't know your numbers, if you don't make the effort. And for heaven's sakes, do not tell me, well, this is all I know how to do. Really? Really? Y'all know I love my husband dearly, but the guy doesn't know how to use a computer. He's getting better. But he did not know how to use a computer forever. And he kind of thought it was funny. I didn't think it was so funny because I'm having to do everything. It's not that funny. So he starts his little business. He is a Willcraft distributor. If y'all don't know what that is, it's an ice fishing thing. Anyway, so he starts this little business and he can't send an email because he doesn't know how. And he doesn't know how to properly type an email because he's never had to do that, right? He's a maintenance mechanic. He works on equipment, machines. He does not need to know how to type an email. He doesn't even know how to turn a computer on or need to know how to turn a computer on. Doesn't matter. If the piece of equipment is computerized, he sure knows how to use that computer though, doesn't he? And so I was doing things for him for a very short time. After about, I don't have a lot of patience, and y'all know that. It was a very short time, maybe 5 emails. I'm like, okay, you need to learn how to do this yourself because I'm not doing this. Like, I am not your secretary. I am not typing your emails, sending your emails, telling you have emails, posting your stuff to Facebook. No, not my thing. Your business, you run it. Yes, I had to teach him how to do it, but he learned how to do it, right? He's not super proficient at it because he still doesn't do it a ton. He now has a management position at his job. He has to now give work orders, and he has to use his computer, and he has to communicate with people via email. And he still has his filing system for his contacts is sticky notes all the way around his computer screen. We can't do it all at once, people, but we can do it over time. You're not going to learn something new immediately. You don't learn the infinite banking concept by reading my book and you take off and run. It is years and years of practice, of listening, of communicating with me, of me helping teach you that process. But don't expect somebody to do something for you because you're frankly too lazy or scared to learn something new. There are a million things that you can do to make income. There are a million ways you can use your land to make a profit besides running cows on it because that's all you have ever seen anybody do. This little thing called the internet that so many people hate and I love is why? Because it's all how you use it. And I use it for good. I use it to learn things. I use it to see what people are doing. I frankly don't waste my time on stuff I don't want. Why? Why would I use it for bad? That's completely worthless. Can you go there? Absolutely. But again, that's your choice. And we all have choices in life. So as much as I commend those of you that are trying to help somebody that is down, help them when they are down. Do not enable them to stay down. And I learned this at one point too, that those super fuzzy feeler people, who we all know it's not me, right? That are always enabling, are doing that to make themselves feel good. That's what I was told one time by a business coach. And I thought, I would have never thought that. Those people are so sweet and they genuinely care. And they do genuinely care. And they also care and they also love that it makes them feel good because they help somebody. If you have to get your worth from bailing people out, you're an enabler. So I'm sorry that I've probably ticked off a lot of people. But if you are one of those people along the way that I have mentioned, I don't mean to upset you. I'm trying to open your eyes to the fact that we cannot continue to enable people. And those of you who say, and the words, I don't know how to do anything else, if that leaves your mouth, you better reword that and say, I need to learn to do something else. And how can I learn to do that? And what do I want to learn to do? And the first thing you should probably learn to do is Google so that you can find ideas of how to do other things, talk to other people, go to some farm conferences. It is when we stop talking to people, we become stagnant. And stop talking to people within a 20-mile radius of you. For crimini's sake. That's another thing that drives me crazy, is you guys are stuck in the middle of nowhere in some cases, and you're only talking to people in a 20-mile radius, and you go get all your news at the coffee shop from the same people you talked to yesterday over coffee. Really? Is one of you in that group Googling something? Is one of you in that group reading a magazine and learning something new? Are y'all just talking about what you talked about yesterday and how you've done everything for the last 15 to 20 years? The majority of my clients right now are regenerative ag clients. The majority of them. It amazes me when I talk to people and they've never heard about regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agriculture is everywhere right now. It doesn't mean you have to do it. I could care less how you farm. It doesn't mean you have to do it. It just means it's crazy you've not heard about it. Have you not been to a conference? Have you not picked up a successful farming magazine? Have you not picked up any other kind of farming magazine? I mean, how do you not hear about it? Because it's like the topic on every podcast I listen to. And granted, I'm not listening to the farm podcasts about news. But why have we not educated ourselves on this and learned these things? Just my question for you. I got a little heated today. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. But you guys, I don't have feelers. I don't have a lot of feelers. I'm very practical. My decision making is based on facts a lot of times and not, oh, that feels good. Oh, that makes me feel good. No, even when I help people, it's not about making me feel good. It's about making somebody some money and making them successful and seeing them be happy and the light bulb go on. And I don't get all kinds of feelers and say, oh, that makes me feel so good. I was able to help them. That didn't even cross my mind. I'm doing it because I think that there's a need to do it and they're not getting it done correctly. And let's just get it done correctly. So if you are any of those types of people, something to think about. I'm not saying my way is the right way, but I see it all too often. People are claiming that the bank is the one that hurt them and they can't do anything else because they're too old. And I'm just not buying it. Absolutely not buying it. And you can allow yourself to think that way or you can change it. Now, if you want to leave me a review, you should have did it before. Remember? You should have did it before. I'm just going to speak some truth. I am not somebody that's going to blow smoke up your skirt and tell you that everything is going to be fantastic. I don't live in a fantasy world. It's reality. And so here I am, 100% German, not sugarcoating anything today. So if you want to yell at me, if you want to tell me that you agree, if you want to tell me that you want to hear different topics or something I've not addressed that you actually have a question on, email me at maryjo@withoutthebank And I would be happy to answer those and include those in on a podcast topic or just respond back to you. Even if you want to yell at me, doesn't matter. I sometimes get those emails, not very often, but I sometimes do. And I read them and I will respond. Unless you're completely like super mean, then I'm going to delete you because that's how that goes. Okay. Let me know if you need me. If you have not gotten the book Farming Without the Bank, do that now. You can go to farmingwithoutthebank.com, grab it there, and then you can also grab Nelson's book, Becoming Your Own Banker. So enjoy those reads, and I do look forward to talking to you guys. I know so many of you are harvesting right now, but I am only booking out about 2 weeks, I think, at the moment. And so if you want to get on the calendar, please do so. If something comes up and you need to reschedule, just let us know. But at least you're on the calendar because after harvest, it gets stinking busy again for me. Okay, you guys, you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.